So now let's start. I want to show you some things. I've loaded some stuff. First thing comes in mind is turn that up a little. The orchestra hits. This is something that was popular like in the 90s and disco stuff, you know. I mean, seriously, if you're not a big shot music composer or something that uses this on purpose, if you would do any song nowadays and use this sample, people would most likely start to laugh at you because it's out some way. But when GoldenEye appeared, the game soundtrack appeared, this was it, you know. And I like it somehow. I mean, it's fun. Anyway, this is one sound I will use, of course, and then are these. I love this is old disco stuff. This is disco 2, and of course the bass. And what I often use, my bass line I often use is like stuff like that. And I can already hear that the bass is not so good sounding. It should be a little bit more shallow. Then this is the part where you've all waited for. It's the very, very, very beloved Sarah sound. And this is a question I often get too. Where did you get the sound from? Well, I spent about 6 or 7 years in making this sound and bring it to perfection. And I think it's pretty good. It might not sound that great on its own, but later when the song will start to build up, it's gonna sound good. This is the original sound is a tambourine sound, so you can. Yeah, it's been remixed already. You can't really tell, but it's a tambourine sound, you know, and it's just years of work, you know. It took me 1 year and always a little bit working on it, and still it was not so convincing. The second year I thought, wow, this is way better, and the third year I found another way which sounded even better. And now, and it's not only one sound, it's actually like 3 or 4 different sounds, different samples I made over the years mixed together, because one is more low frequency, one is high frequency, one is in the middle, and it's all mixed together, and this comes out. And I also have a special treat for you. This is the original sound that was used in the actual GoldenEye 007 soundtrack. I've once heard Grant Kirkhope talking about this, and I've downloaded this software just the minute I heard it. It was, you can clearly tell it's this sound. But it sounds old because this is, I think, from 1999 or something. It's pretty old anyway. So I won't use this one. But actually, I have a little project going on as well where I do old-fashioned Nintendo 64 songs, and there I use it for, because all the instruments are sound like back in these times. So now let's start with the tricky part. So I'm gonna write this song in a G minor chord. So this is a G chord, and I'm gonna make it a sad G chord, so a G minor chord. And you have these notes. I don't want to get too technical about it, but you have these notes, and you can go. This is the G minor chord, and I'm sorry, I don't want to bother you with technical stuff and stuff. And I can't, even if I wanted to, because I'm not a trained musician. Everything is self-taught, and I do a lot of listening. I can't even read notes or something, but I think it worked out pretty well without that stuff. So this is the basic piano thing, G minor chord. And now what's important, what we're gonna do is okay, and this is not a G minor chord anymore. It's not this. This is a G minor. It's a spy chord. play like that, voila, instant James Bond feeling. All throughout the years, James Bond. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay? And obviously, when you listen to the old recording from the Nintendo 64, it's also played by the orchestra hits. Not entirely, and this is too much. It gets all jumbled up. So I'm gonna use this as well, but just like I said, you might have heard my work before. I always like to do a blend between the movie, Eric Serra style, which I absolutely adore, between the game, and also a little bit of contemporary stuff like David Arnold uses it. And like I said, a lot of my work is just testing around. Like when you heard when I played. It's already a mess. You can't tell the notes, and this is not going to sound right when afterwards even more instruments and notes will come. So I've decided just to take the upper two notes and one low note, and I'm going to turn the volume down very much because I want trumpets to play this. I want to have a little bit more realistic feeling to it. So now I'm going to determine the velocity. 120 should be about good. I can make it a little faster afterwards. So I'm going to play the first part. And now, you maybe when you listen to the James Bond theme very carefully, you might have heard that it's not all the notes playing this. It's something going on. So the trumpets will be playing. Let's put it this way. It's gonna be like. So you have the trumpets, and you have the deep brass. But there are also the trombones in the middle section, and they do something like, I'm going to play it a little slower. Okay? And now I think this is going to be played by the, because I want to stick to the original a little bit, of course. So I'm going to... Okay, now we take the bass. He's going to do the basically the same thing. So I'm going to record this as well. Okay, and now the sonar sound. It's too loud. Now I take some drum samples that are appropriate. I've chosen this one, I think. Okay, I've prepared this drum kit because it's very good. It has a deep, rich kick drum, and it has a good snare. Pretty good. But I'm going to layer a second drum kit over this just to have the perfect sound. Okay. Like I said before, at the end there will be some changements. I will work out the right bass line and like that.